Oh, and welcome into Pinnacle Bank Arena for the Class B final. Against the number 2 seeded Norris Titans going up against Omaha Skutt, the number 4 seed. And man, this is going to be a phenomenal matchup coming off of a overtime game in the C1. We're expecting even something better for the Class B. Two very good teams meeting for a Class B title. My name is Wilson Dittman alongside my partner, Jonathan Spieler. So Jonathan, I want to start off with you. What did you see out there yesterday when we covered both of these games? And I'm just going to ask you for your prediction right off the gate. Let's just go for it.
Prediction of who's going to win right off the gate.
Let's go for it, man.
Prediction. I mean, both of these teams did have some pretty good games. Norris came off strong yesterday on their win. Omaha Skutt, also a strong game. Are we doing score or just
say who wins?
Who's going to win? My prediction is going to be Norris.
Okay.
I think Norris is going to pull out on top here. I think they're going to have the drive more and want it more than Skutt.
Yeah, we're talking about a Norris team who is 24-2, coming off of a blowout win against Scottsbluff last night, and they've been doing it like that all season long. Had a little bit of trouble in the first round against Bennington, but prevailed after it was all said and done. So yeah, they're looking very good, led by a couple senior leaders, along with Chris Gardner, who's only a sophomore. Then we look at Skutt. They're the number 4 seed in this tournament. They won state last year, and they had a big upset last night against Cree, who was undefeated going into that game. Well, probably what people say, probably the biggest upset so far this tournament. And Skutt not only won, but they probably beat them pretty bad according to Crete standards. So, man, two teams who are evenly matched, getting ready to face off right now at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Reminder that this game we also have Class A and then Class C2 as well tonight, so that's going to be big. You're going to want to be here to listen to those calls and just check and pop the score on the screen. So both teams taking the floor, starting warm-ups. We have about 2 minutes, as you can see. Skutt today as the away team in the all blacks, a little bit of a green trim. And then we see Norris in the all white uniforms, a little bit of red and blue. I kind of like that. Let's go into what we do every single pregame segment. We go at the student sections. And right now, pretty even student section. I mean, Skutt only was pretty disappointing yesterday, I'll say the least. But they're looking about, I'd say, 7 rows deep. Same thing for Norris. Now, I cannot tell the theme for Norris right now.
I cannot either.
See, what I think it is, I think it's a business theme.
I think it is a business theme. I do see a lot of collared shirts.
I see collared shirts. I see some business suits. I like that theme. That's something that's creative.
It's new.
Yeah, and then, of course, Skutt in the blackout. They've done this for every single game in the tournament, so less points there for the creativity for Skutt, but it works well, and they look pretty all right with the all black on. Again, we've seen that time and time again from a lot of programs. Now let's go and look at both of the parent sections. Again, pretty full here with Pinnacle. We still have a couple minutes until we get ready for game time, so more people are going to come in the stadium, or excuse me, arena. But it's pretty close. I mean, Norris fans a little closer to town, filling it up pretty well, and Skutt as well. Well represented, so getting pretty full crowd, getting ready for a Class B title with everything on the line. A lot of these players playing in perhaps their last high school game and ready to put it all on the table.
For sure.
So we have about 30 seconds until we get going for the actual game. They're going to go through, actually first they're going to have a light show, and then they're going to go through benches for both squads in the starting lineup. No, I'm going to keep it right here. I want you guys to see the light show. They're going to basically turn off all the lights here. I don't know if we can turn the camera to see the light show, but I kind of want you guys just kind of see it. So there we go. Lights are now off completely. And you know what?
A cheeky little turn here.
Here we go.
Just for a second here.
Just for a second. It's pretty cool. So, again, we'll only leave that for a second. We are an audio broadcast. Just wanted to kind of show you that. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
The NSA does a very good job putting on these events. But anyways, there's going to be a light show as going on right now, and they're going to be right back. We're going to be right back for the starting lineups. And welcome back to Millard South Media. About to get underway here for the Class B state title after that phenomenal light show. So here's what they're going to go through. Skutt, as the away team, is going to have their bench represented. Then they'll go through Norris's bench. And then they will go through the starting lineups for both the Skyhawks and the home team, the number 2 Titans. So I think we're waiting very quickly here for Nebraska Public Media, a little media timeout before we start it.
Nothing new.
On behalf of the Nebraska School Activities Association and its member schools, welcome to the 2024 NSAA Boys State Basketball Championships.
So here we go. PA announcer is getting us ready. And real quick, I want to take this time to thank our sponsor, Erickson Cedarstrom, who provides you the best legal service in the state of Nebraska. And let's just start this off with the bench. So again, Skutt will go first. They'll go through every single player on the bench, and then they'll do the exact same thing for Norris. So let's just talk about Skutt a little bit here going into this game. And they are 19-6, as you can see on the screen. A pretty dominant season, especially as of late. And they're a team that's led by some of their key players, big man Brock Skoll, along with a couple others. So they're starting off with the non-starters. We're not going to announce them, but they are being represented. Once again, Skutt in the All Blacks today. And very nice. Skutt's a team, again, who's been here time and time again, historically a blue blood in Nebraska preps. And they are not afraid of the bright lights. And we compare that to Norris, who really hasn't been here that much.
Yeah, quite a new team for this kind of environment.
So the benches, they're clearing off the benches. Now they'll go over to Norris. Norris, the number 2 team in this tournament. They have won state 4 times, last one coming in 2003. And a team who really hasn't had a lot of experience in the tournament either. They lost first round last year to Platteview, and then lost a couple times in 2020, 2021. Ever since then, really didn't have any appearances. So a team is kind of young and doesn't have a lot of, let's just say, championship pedigree, at least according to where they have not been. So they're going through the bench right now for Norris, and now let's get ready for them to announce the starting lineup, starting off with the number 4 seeded Skutt Catholic Skyhawks. So here we go, starting off with Omaha Skutt. They'll get things started with number 3, Kyle Cannon. Then they'll do Will Doherty up next. Up next, number 12, Dylan Van Dyke. The big man, number 44, Brock Skoll. And last but not least, another big man, 6'8" center, George Zebel. And the Skutt Skyhawks are head coached by Kyle Juergens. So Skutt getting ready to go. Now they will announce the starting 5 for the home team, the number 2 ranked team in Class B, the Norris Titans. They'll get it started with number 4, Bella Bosinger. Up next, number 5, Alex Small. Then the dynamic sophomore, Chris Gardner Jr. Up next, the freshman, number 22, Evan Greenfield. And then number 23, Jared Behrens. And they are head coached by Jimmy Motts. So both teams on the floor getting ready to meet at the midline to shake hands. And then we will be underway. So both teams meet at the midline on the Husker logo, shaking hands, getting ready for this matchup. Omaha Skutt, about 50 miles away, of course, located in Omaha. Norris in the town of Firth, a little bit closer to here, but still a couple miles away. So let's get ready for some basketball. Class B title about to get underway here. Skutt once again in the all blacks, Norris in the all whites. Tip-off duties. Brock Skoll will do it for Skutt. Chris Gardner Jr. on the other end for Norris. Refs not letting him go just yet. And now the head official will make his way to center court to throw up this basketball. Here we go. He throws it up. Skutt wins the tip, and let's get this thing started. Class B state title here at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Gonna be a good one.
Dylan Van Dyke has it on the right wing for Skutt, directing traffic, trying to work his way inside. Now gives it over to number 10, Doherty, on the left wing. He has a screen set for him, now drives inside, puts up a layup off the glass, no good. Rebound by Norris. Chris Gardner comes down with it. He gives it over to Alex Small, brings it across the timeline. He has on the top of the key. Now gives it over to Greenfield. Now to Gardner in the corner, back over to Bosinger. Bosinger trying to work his way inside, loses the basketball, goes right in the hands of Alex Small. Now corner three from the left hash, no good. And it will be taken over by Skutt. Dylan Van Dyke on the other end, trying to feed Zebel inside, backing down his man, working his way inside the paint. Now has to kick it out to somebody looking. Now puts up a layup off the glass, rolls home.
Very nice post-up move.
So Alex Small now will bring it across the timeline, looking to tie up this game for Norris. Gives it over to Greenfield, who kicks it over to Behrens on the corner. Now Gardner at the top of the key, over to Bosinger. Bosinger working, back to Gardner. He's inside the post. Tries to feed Small, now back to Bosinger on the left wing. Now corner. Greenfield driving baseline, over to the right corner. Three-pointer on the way for Behrens, air ball. And Norris, who fought for that board, fouls Zebel. That'll be the first foul of this ball game. So Skutt will inbound. They have to go the full length of the court. Dylan Van Dyke scanning. Norris with the full court trap look. And they're going to let Will Doherty across the line. Gives over to Brock Scholl. Now Cannon. Trying to work his way inside, kicks it over the right corner. Van Dyke passes up a three, gives it over to Skoll. He pulls the trigger on a three. No good. Rebound by Greenfield. He'll take it to the other end for Norris. He'll slow things down, now push the pace. Backing down his man, pump fakes. Kicks it out to Gardner. Gardner trying to work his way inside. Tough layup, no good. And it will be rebound by Zebel of Omaha Skutt. Skoll has on the right wing, closely guarded by Greenfield. Now kicks over the corner, three-pointer on the way. That one falls.
Skutt coming out to an early lead here, 5-0.
Norris has got to control the tempo. Alex Small brings it across the timeline. Gives it over to the freshman. Greenfield has on the right wing. Back over to Small. He has it, setting up the offense. Now gives it back to Greenfield in the left corner, working his way around the perimeter, closely guarded by Cannon. Now drives inside, kicks over right corner. Does not take the three after Barron's airballed last possession. Now it's taken away by Dylan Van Dyke on an errant pass. Skutt trying to go quick. They give it to Zebel. He pushes the pace. Tough layup. Blocked by Chris Gardner. Norris now going the other end on the fast break. It's a 2-on-3. They feed Bosinger. Put tough layup, and he's fouled. Two shots, for Alex Small. and that is going to send him to the free throw line.
Looks like Cannon was trying to get a charge there, but just couldn't get his feet down.
So first free throws of the game for Norris, with an opportunity to get their first points. Alex Small at the free throw line. He's averaging just around 60% this year from the charity stripe. First one for Small, up and rattles home. Linderman checks in the game for Skutt. On the other end, Josh Bornschlegel for Norris. So Skutt with their first free throw up and in. Second one now for Alex Small. Couple dribbles. Now puts the shot up, and it rattles home once again. Folkert's also checking in this ballgame for Norris. The Titans, as you'll see all game, like to go about 7 deep in their rotation. So Doherty will bring it across the timeline for Skutt, up by 3 points. He gives it over to Dylan Van Dyke. Now Cannon on the left corner. Cannon guarded by Greenfield, over to Doherty, pass up a 3, driving inside, backing down his man, tough layup, blocked once again by Norris. And they'll take it to the other end. Josh Bornschlegel has it. Brings it across the midline, gives it over to Folkerts. Folkerts coming off of the bench. Dribbles the basketball at the top of the key. Has it now to Greenfield. Greenfield working his way inside, backing down a man. Post move, puts up a tough shot, no good, rattles away. Rebounded by Dylan Van Dyke. He's pushing the pace, going quick. Nice ball handles, but it's blocked by Chris Gardner. Norris was already 3 blocks here in the first 4 minutes. They're going to go quick. Bornschlegel feeding Gardner aside, backing down his man. Tough post move, no good. Board is up and it's rebounded by Skutt. They're going to go quick as well. Scholl on a one-on-one, driving to the rack, slams it home. The one-handed slam by the big man.
That got the crowd up and going.
7-2 ball game early in this one. Folkerts has it right now for Norris. They give it over to the freshman Greenfield on the left wing. He's trying to work his way inside. Euro step over to Gardner. Gardner with a tough layup. That one rattles, no good off the glass. He gets his own board, second chance, and he traveled, and they didn't call it. Chris Gardner went up with the basketball, went down, and then put it right back up, and no travel called. So that is a bucket. Now Skutt right back on offense with a 3-point lead. Dylan Van Dyke in the right corner. Jab stepping, looking to find some separation. That ball is tipped and it's taken away by Norris. Folkerts on the other end, trying to drive inside. Now kicks it over to Greenfield, and layup is up and in. Greenfield with a nice finish, and man, this freshman is impressive. Norris student section getting into it. Cannon on the other end. Floater got to go. Folkerts brings it across the timeline, down by 3. Over to Chris Gardner now on the left wing, guarded closely by the big man Brock Skull. Now over to Greenfield on the right wing, guarded by Linderman. Over now to the corner. Back to the top of the key, over to Gardner. Gardner with a little bit of a mismatch, trying to exploit that. Back his way down the post. Nice move, and he connects.
Wow.
Skutt now trying to go quick. Norris did not get back on defense. Linderman and one. For the masked assassin, he's wearing a face mask after getting a little banged up yesterday night. He connects for a big layup, and he'll have a chance for 1 more point at the charity stripe.
That follows on Boziger, number 4 for Norris.
So there's going to be a timeout on the floor. I believe that's a media timeout. We're just going to keep it right here with that 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Again, my name is Wilson Dittman alongside my partner, Jonathan Spieler. Jonathan, man, it's been a back-and-forth ball game.
It has. It's been a kind of a fast-paced ball game here. A lot of turnovers and a lot of easy layups for both teams.
And we talk about Norris and Skutt just trading buckets. Both teams are 3 of their last 3 from the field goals. And they're doing a good job getting good looks. And both teams pretty efficient as well. But the thing that jumps out to me early is Norris, specifically Chris Gardner, already with 2 blocks. They have 3 blocks as a team. Doing a good job containing Skutt's 2 big men inside. So again, a media timeout. We have these in the state title games after, I believe, the first 4 minutes, once there's a dead ball after the first 4 minutes in the third and first quarters. So Omaha Skutt, the 4 seed, leads by 3. Both teams getting ready to retake the floor. Norris already with a handful of substitutions. Skutt only with 1. Linderman is their 6th man. They really only like to run a 6 deep. Norris, on the other hand, goes a little deeper into their bench. So Linderman connected for the and one after the media timeout. Now he will go to the free throw line for 1. Linderman at the line for 1 free throw. It is up, and it is no good. Rebounded by Greenfield. He'll bring it the other end for Norris. Going quick. That goes up to Borschlingel. Back to Greenfield on the left wing. Now feeding the corner. That's Alex Small. Small trying to work his way inside. Euro step. Stops his dribble, and there's going to be a foul on the floor. It'll be on Skutt Catholic.
And I believe that's their first foul of the quarter.
Checking back in for the Titans, number 10, Chris Garner Jr.
Gardner checking right back in for Norris. He was only out for like about 30 seconds. Norris off the inbound. Wide open man, Alex Small, and he connects for 2.
Looks like Norris is applying a little pressure here up the court.
Linderman has it right now for Skutt, guarded by the sophomore Gardner. Kicks it over to Cannon, setting up a screen for him. Now he'll drive inside. Blocked again by Norris, and he lets him know. And they're going to say it also went out of Skutt after a ferocious block. Josh Bornslingel just went up and got it. My goodness, that was about as good as it gets. So after the review, pretty clearly went out of Norris, as you'd expect for a block. Not the greatest call by the referees, but again, that'll happen from time to time. So Norris instead will take over after what was a phenomenal rejection by Josh Bornschlingel. So Norris inbounds over to Alex Small. He'll bring it across the timeline, down by 1.2 minutes remaining here in this first quarter of action. Josh Bornschlingel now trying to feed Greenfield inside, tough layup, and he is fouled in his shooting motion. Excuse me, that was Thomas Hazemeyer coming off the bench for Norris, so he'll go to the line for 2.
And Skutt was not happy about that one. It looked like number 12, Van Dyke, got his feet set.
Yeah, Van Dyke was almost completely still. They're going to say that was a foul on him. Yeah, it could have definitely been a charging foul. So 2 calls go against Skutt in the last minute. First free throw up and no good for Thomas Hazemeyer. Second one now for Norris. That one spins all the way around the rim, toilet bowl, and it drops. So we're all knotted up at 11 apiece. 1 minute 30 left to play here in the first quarter. Class B state title on the line. It's going to be a great one all game. Linderman has it on the Husker logo right on the midline. He's going to drive inside, picks up his dribble, puts up a floater, no good. And it's rebounded by Norris. Alex Small taking it the other way for the Titans. He'll pick up his dribble, gives it over now to Hazemeyer, back to Small. So Small at the top of the key, setting up the offense. Finds Chris Gardner on the left wing. On a mismatch, he'll drive inside on the big man. Now kicks it back over to Borschlingel. Borschlingel to the left wing. Alex Small trying to drive baseline. Over to now to Borschlingel again. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get something to go here. Borschlingel pivoting back to the left corner. He will hold it. Now Small trying to drive inside, spin move. Tough layup, not even close. Air ball. Rebounded by Skutt. And the ball will go out of bounds after a tip pass. It'll stay with the Skyhawks.
And there's Greenfield back in for Norris.
I mean, can you believe that kid is only a freshman? By the way,
No.
he look, I mean, just physically built.
Not
He's
at
going to be
all.
so good for that Norris program for the next couple of years, despite even if they win or lose this game. That's number 22 Greenfield's checking in. So Skutt has the ball. About a 8-second difference between shot clock and game clock. All knotted up at 11. They're trying to trap Z-Ball. Tough pass over to Van Dyke, and there's a timeout called by Skutt as they were trapping the big man. So only a quick 30-second timeout. That's Skutt's first today, and they're going to quickly discuss this one.
16 seconds left on the game clock to work with. Gonna have to draw something up quick.
Yeah, only a 30-second timeout. Both teams now retaking the floor. If I'm Omaha Skutt, you've really failed to get some of your better shooters involved. Dylan Van Dyke, who led the team in scoring last night with 0 points. You can get him an open look, get him on fire. He's a guy you need to come up clutch for in order to win this basketball game.
Yep.
And what I've been impressed with, Jonathan, has been Norris's presence inside. They already have 4 blocks throughout this first period.
Yeah, their big guys are killing it currently.
So 25 seconds left. Skutt to inbound. They have 16 seconds on the shot clock. Doherty looking, finds Dylan Van Dyke on the Husker logo. He'll set up the offense. Has a screen called for him. He's working the top of the key. Now rolling to the left wing, driving inside. Tough pass over to the right corner. 3-pointer on the way by Doherty. No good. Rebounded by Greenfield of Norris. 11 seconds. They push the pace. Over to Fulkerts. He pulls the trigger on a 3 from the left wing. Got it! McCoy Fulkerts. 3 seconds. Skutt got to get something off. Full court heave. They don't even try it. And that will be the end of the first period of basketball. Norris up by 3 points with a massive connection by McCoy Fulkerts as the buzzer almost expired.
And just to let you guys know, that was a deep 3 by Fulkerts. He was a couple feet behind the line for sure.
He took it a little bit early, too. Said, hey, I got the green light. Why not put it up? And he's derailed it. So we're going to be right back with you here, getting ready for the second quarter of action here on Millard South Media. I think just a reminder, we will be back with a C2 at 4:15 along with a big one, Class A, going on at 6:15. So please check us out then for that. Real quick, I want to thank our sponsor, Erickson Cedarstrom, providing you 55 years of legal excellence. If you want the best legal work in the city of Omaha and the state of Nebraska, please go over to Erickson Cedarstrom. But we'll see you in a little bit. And welcome back to Millard South Media. Second quarter about to get underway here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Skutt in a tight battle against Norris. They trail by 3. And Norris will be the one to inbound the basketball when we come back. So once again, Norris in the all-whites. They're going to inbound. And then we see Skutt in the all-blacks going to play defense. So Alex Small will bring it across the Husker logo. Up by 3 points. Over to Chris Gardner now. Working all around the perimeter. Trying to get into Greenfield. Doesn't pass to him. Now Gardner drives inside. Left-handed layup. No good. And that's rebounded by the big man, Brock Skoll of Skutt. Kyle Cannon brings it across the other end. Gives it over to Doherty in the right corner. Now over to Dylan Van Dyke. Van Dyke jab stepping. And they'll just reset with Kyle Cannon. Cannon directing traffic, figuring out the offense. Dylan Van Dyke, he gives it to. Back over to Cannon. Bad pass. He corrals it, however. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get something to go. Cannon will drive inside. Kicks over right corner. 3-point on the way by Doherty. Splash! Will Doherty. All chords, and it's all tied up at 14. Alex Small brings it across the point guard for Norris. Greenfield now has it on the left wing. Back over to Small. Now Garner in the right corner. Garner working his way inside. Kicks it over to the wing. 3-point on the way. No good by Behrens. Rebounded by Skutt. Cannon will bring it across the other end. Trying to get Skutt right back the lead. He'll drive inside. Picks up his dribble. Kicks it out. 3-point on the way by Doherty. No good this time. And it's rebounded by Behrens. Greenfield brings it to the other end for the Titans. Driving inside. Picks up his dribble. Puts up a mid-range J, no good. And once again, Brock Skull comes down with the rebound. So Doherty has it on the far right wing right now for Skutt. They are going left here on the basketball court. Now gives it over to Skull. Now Doherty on the right wing trying to drive inside on Small. Good defense here from Norris. Cannon has it with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Throws all the way to the corner. Doherty pass up a three. Over to Van Dyke. Three-pointer on the way now. The top of the key. Got it. Dylan Van Dyke and Skutt starting to light fire here from the arc.
Norris is going to have to start protecting that three-point line because Skutt is picking up the pace.
Alex Small gives her now to Chris Gardner. Gardner over to Berenger, who makes it.
Oh.
Bosinger, connects, and we're all knotted up once again at 17 apiece. Both teams trading buckets. Dylan Van Dyke on the right wing trying to feed the big man inside. They double team immediately, give it over to Van Dyke, pump fake over to left corner. Doherty, three-pointer on the way. Got it! Skutt has made 3 of their last 4 triples. And Norris, now it's their time to respond. Small will slow things down for the Titans. Goes over to Chris Gardner. Now in the corner, that's Behrens. Behrens standing at that three-point line in the left corner. Gives it now back to Alex Small, who will nonchalantly dribble the basketball all around the perimeter, setting things up. Now Bosinger, backing his way down. Gives it now to Gardner. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Small. He'll drive inside. Euro step. Tough layup, and he's fouled. Nice move by the crafty guard. A little Euro step and fight the contact. He'll go to the free throw line. So Alex Small, who shoots about 60% from the free throw line, will go to the free throw line once again. He's 2 for 2 so far today. First one from the charity stripe is in.
Checking in for the Skyhawks, number 30, Eddie Linderman. In for the Titans, number 0, Josh Borsigle, and number 2, McCoy Folkers.
Norris cuts this down to a 2-point deficit, trying to cut it even further with Small's second free throw here. Couple dribbles on the way, and it rattles home.
And a sub in here for Norris. Full court's back in. Full court press here by Norris.
Yeah, really trying to force the turnover here. So Doherty has it, closely guarded by Bosinger. He gets across the timeline. Now over to Dylan Van Dyke, who brings it all around the perimeter and out of Cannon. Just handing the ball off, working their way around. Now over to Linderman. Skull on the right wing. Jab stepping, three-pointer on the way. Got it, the big man.
Wow.
I mean, he's so tall, he can shoot it over just about anybody. Folkerts now on the other end for Norris. They're going right on the basketball court. At the top of the key, guarded closely by Cannon. Gives it over to the freshman Greenfield, working on Linderman. Trying to drive inside, kicks it over, back to Folkerts. He drives baseline, steps back, fakes. Now over to Gardner, tough layup. Somehow falls off the glass. Chris Gardner Jr. is making his presence felt. He's only a sophomore.
And that was right over Scholl, too. That's not an easy body to get around.
Cannon now driving inside. He'll be fouled on the way up. And it looks like they're going to say that it was a foul before the shot. So instead, Skutt's going to inbound under their own hoop. Doherty checking right back in for Skutt. And Small, after taking a quick breather, will be back in for Norris. Van Dyke inbounds over to Scholl. Now back to Van Dyke in the right corner. Now gives over Linderman at the top of the key. Trying to feed Scholl inside. Tough pass. Swatted away by Norris, but it's going to stay with Skutt. Nice job by, looks like, Chris Gardner, who had active hands to just swat that one out of bounds off of the hands of Scholl. So it'll stay with Skutt. Van Dyke over to the corner. That's Linderman. Linderman now to Cannon, setting up a screen. Working at the top of the key, over now to the left corner. Doherty driving baseline, picks up his dribble, floater, air ball. Norris will bring it to the other end. Chris Gardner driving inside, tough layup amid the contact, no good. Rebound by Skull. Van Dyke will bring it the other way for the Skyhawks. He's going to drive inside, kicks over to the right corner. Linderman, nice move, backing down his man. Now over to Cannon, who will reset. Now to the top of the key, Linderman trying to work inside, picks up his dribble, feeds Van Dyke. Tough pass over to the big man who rattles home a layup. Look what I found. That somehow just went all the way around the hoop. So Alex Small now has it for Norris, gives it over to Chris Garner on the right wing. Now Greenfield on the right corner. He'll drive baseline, picks up his dribble. Tough spin around, Jay rattles home. Nice move by the freshman.
Making it look easy.
Now Kyle Cannon will bring it across the timeline up by 2 points over the number 2 seeded Norris Titans. Fakes it past to Van Dyke. Now he tries to drive, being double teamed. Good defense by Greenfield. Throws it over to the other corner. That's Doherty. Now Linderman at the top of the key. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rattles away. Rebound, Skull. Second chance. That one rattles home. I mean, sometimes when you have a 6'8 center, it makes those offensive boards just too easy.
That's already his 6th rebound of the day.
Alex Small on the Husker logo. And there's going to be just a quick timeout by Norris to talk this one over. 30-second timeout. That's their first free throw, or excuse me, timeout. So back and forth ball game, just like we expected. And Skutt, really what's been the difference is their three-point shooting. They really have done a good job in the last couple of minutes, shooting well from the arc. They're shooting over 50%. Other side of things, Norris just about as efficient, about 40%. So both teams doing a good job in that category. Two minutes left here in the first half of action. Norris and Skutt alike will both retake the floor. Haysmeyer throws it in to Bornschlingel. Both of those guys just came off the bench for Norris. Bornschlingel gives it over to Alex Smalls, working his way around the perimeter. Now over to Folkerts. Folkerts at the top of the key, puts up a three-pointer. No good, rattles away. Rebounded by Zebel, who just checked in for Skutt. Dylan Van Dyke working on the other end now. Tough layup, no good. Zebel pushed over a Norris guy to try to get the rebound, and that's going to be a foul on him. It'll go the other way.
Yep, that'll be over the back. Hansmeyer was the culprit for that one.
He just trucked over him. I mean,
yeah,
that was not pretty, especially given the fact that Zebel listed at 6'8". So Alex Small will bring it across for Norris, down by 4. They need a bucket. Gives it over to Gardner, now working on the right wing. Throws it to the left wing, now left corner. Alex Small has separation, doesn't take the three, gives it to Gardner. A little bit of a mismatch on Skull. He'll drive inside on him, picks up his dribble, mid-range J, no good. It is rebounded by Skutt. Skull has on the left wing, guarded by the freshman. Now he switched on to Gardner and gives it over to Dylan Van Dyke on the left wing. He'll try to work his way inside. Over to the right corner. Three-pointer on the way by Linderman. Scratches off. I mean, that just right around, then it ended up hitting the top of the backboard. So with officially 49.5 seconds, you've got to think Norris is going to take one shot, and then Skutt will probably have the last shot here in this first half.
About one possession apiece.
Starters on the floor for just about both teams. Full courts will walk across the timeline for Norris, setting up the offense. Calling for a play. At the top still. Calling out for a screen from Haysmeyer. Trying to dish it to him. Now puts up a tough layup, and there's a foul call on the way up. Pretty limited contact, but he'll take it every day of the week. So Norris will go to the free throw line 4-2. Folkerts only shooting 58% from the line this year. has an opportunity to cut down this Skutt lead. First one for him is up, and it is no good. Rattles out the left part of the iron.
Check in for the Skyhawks, number 15, George Zebo, number 3, Kyle Cannon. Back in for the Titans, number 5, Alex Small.
Couple check-ins here for both teams.
So second one for Folkerts, up and rattles home this time. So Skutt with the shot clock off will likely hold for one final look here in this first half, up by 3 points. Doherty has it on the Husker logo. Norris is trying to trap him. Skutt has no intention on taking anything. Dylan Van Dyke is fouled. They gave it to him, and then a little bit too of a physical defense by Alex Small. And there's going to be an inbound coming.
Van Dyke inbounding for Skutt. Guarded by Small.
So 9.5. Van Dyke looking for a man, throws it over to Skull. Now to Cannon on the Husker logo. 5 seconds, need to put some up. Over to Doherty on the right wing, driving inside. Loses dribble. Long three-pointer. Ooh, wow, that was close. And that will be halftime here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. A close back-and-forth battle. But Omaha Skutt up by 3 for the meantime. Let's take it up to the booth here. Of course, my name is Wilson Dittman alongside my partner, Jonathan Spieler, Connor Rhodes behind the scenes. Let's start it off with you, Jonathan. Man, I mean, about as good as it could possibly get there from an excitement level. What'd you see?
For sure, the excitement was there. Both teams playing really good. I mean, they've switched back with their momentum, but I really just think it comes down to Skutt shooting better. I mean, they've hit more threes, and they've been more consistent with their two-point shots, and that's why they have the three-point lead right now.
Yeah, both teams with a little bit of a scoring drought, but like you said, Skutt, at the start of that second quarter, man, they were firing from all cylinders, and Norris really couldn't replicate that. Expect to see a guy like Chris Gardner really get involved going forward. That's a guy they feel really good about. But some of their starters, like Alex Small, Barrett Bosinger, not really with much presence in this ball game. They're hoping those two can come up big in the second half. So, again, very contested Class B state title. Just a reminder, we will have Class C2 up next at 4:15. Little break after this game, and then 4:15 Class C2. And then, of course, the big one, Class A, Bell West versus Millard North tonight at 6:15. We hope that you join us here on Millard South Media. So we're going to put a timer on the screen. We have about 11 or so minutes until we get underway with halftime. So again, grab some popcorn, grab a snack. It's lunchtime, and then we'll see you here in about 10 or so minutes. See ya. And welcome back. We have about a minute until we get ready for the second half of action here on Millard South Media, the Class B state title. Man, it's been a good one. Norris trailing by 3 over the number 4 seeded Skutt Catholic Skyhawks. Welcome up to the booth. My name is Wilson Dittman alongside my partner Jonathan Spieler. And Jonathan, what was your main takeaway from that first half?
Overall, a really solid first half, some good basketball. Skutt is just shooting really well today. I think they're on fire from the three-point range, and they look forward to continuing that in this second half. On Norris's side, I think you keep doing what you're doing, just have to get a little more consistent from those 2- and 3-point range, and it should be a close game till the end.
Yeah, Norris is really doing a good job containing the interior. Skutt has 2 big men who are listed at 6'8". And again, Norris is doing a good job. They have about 4 blocks throughout that first half of action. But Skutt, really the reason why they're up right now is because of the fact they've been firing from triple range, especially at the start of that second quarter, and they lead by 3 right now. So both teams getting ready to retake the floor. We have 2 quarters left, 16 minutes total to decide who will go and be crowned Class B state title winners.
Quick shout out to the student sections. Both of them showed up big. Looks like Norris has 7 or 8 rows, and same for Omaha Skutt. Both cheering on their teams, hoping to take home that
Trophy, absolutely. Here we go. So Skutt up by 3 are going to inbound across the midline. Dylan Van Dyke will inbound. You'll be the one passing in. Refs not let him go just yet, waiting for presumably the television coverage. Any day now.
This has been a
And there we go.
consistent thing.
Hey, you got to get that ad revenue. I don't blame him. So welcome back. Norris playing defense here after the Skutt inbound. Scholl has it right now on the left wing. Skutt is going right here on the floor. Scholl driving inside, tough layup, he got to go. Norris going quick. They are going left on the floor, right to left. Small has it guarded closely by Cannon, gives over to Chris Gardner, who has it at the top of the key. That dynamic sophomore had a big first half. He sets a screen for Boslinger, puts up a tough J, and he got to go. Bosinger, the one way to get things started, he's up to 5 points. Dylan Van Dyke working around the perimeter, now gives it to Brock Scholl. Back over to Van Dyke, and it's just going to go out of bounds. Tough pass over to him, and they were not on the same page. So Norris to inbound. Small brings it across the timeline. Gives it over to Greenfield. Greenfield working at the top of the key. Now back to Small working on that right wing. Back to Bosinger. Bosinger trying to drive inside. Finds a crease. Mid-range jump shot. No good. Rebound by Greenfield. Second chance now for Norris. Spin around Jay. No good. Third chance. Ball is free. And Skutt will take over. So foul on the floor.
And that's going to be on number 22, Greenfield. The star freshman for Norris.
So inbounded over to number 10. Doherty, he'll bring it across the floor. Now to Cannon. Cannon guarded closely by the freshman, Greenfield. Now over to Dylan Van Dyke. Back to Doherty in the left corner, setting up the offense. Trying to drive inside on Gardner. Feeds over to Zebel. Has trouble with the pass. Corrals himself. 10 seconds of the shot clock. Cannon down left corner. Contested 3. He goes up and down. Travel.
Yep, the refs caught it that time.
And that was thanks to good defense there by Alex Small, who contested that right away. Basically had no chance or was going to get it blocked. So Norris will bring it across the other way. Alex Small across the Husker logo. Gives it over to Bosinger. Bosinger trying to work his way inside, now just handing it off. Greenfield now working on the top of the key, trying to drive inside on Dylan Van Dyke, backing him down over to Barons. 3-point on the way from the top of the key. That one's no good. Norris fighting for the board. They're going to say He stepped out of bounds. So Skutt will take over. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think either team has had a bucket here to start off this second half.
You are correct, actually.
So Cannon to drive inside for Skutt, kicks it over to the wing. Scholl puts up a three-pointer. No good. Rebounded by Greenfield of Norris. Small on the other end. Driving in. Tough layup. He was fouled. There's going to be no call, however. Dylan Van Dyke on the other end. Tough layup for him. He's fouled and one. Dylan Van Dyke, and he flexes the muscles to his home student section. So that will send Dylan Van Dyke for one free throw at the charity stripe, trying to extend Skutt's lead. Lauren Schlegel checking in for Norris, the sixth man on this team. Van Dyke at the line for one. It's up, and it is no good. Scholl fights for the board. He gets it for Skutt, and they're going to say he had a double dribble. I was surprised he didn't call it over the back on Scholl.
Yeah.
He basically reached over a Norris defender to get that board. But ball does not lie. So Norris will bring it across the timeline. Alex Small has it.
Skutt in a man-to-man defense.
Gives it over to Greenfield on the right wing, working closely on Linderman. Trying to drive in on him, backing him down. Picks up his dribble, now over to Gardner on the three-point line. Spin move, tough layup off the glass, and it's in. Razzle-dazzle there from Chris Gardner Jr.
That spin move got right by Scholl.
3-point lead for Skutt. They'll bring it across the midcourt line. Cannon fakes it past to Linderman. Now driving inside, finds a crease, and that one is up and in for the layup. Chris Gardner on the other end now for Norris on the Husker logo. Setting up the offense. Mismatch on Scholl. Now over to Small. He's crashing the glass. Backing down his man. Now kicks it back over to Bornschlingel. He'll go back to the three-point line and reset. Gardner now feeding Greenfield inside. Backing down Linderman. Tough move. Shot is up and it's in. Greenfield with a tough finish. So both teams trading blows. Still a 3-point lead for Omaha Skutt. Cannon will bring it across the timeline, trying to drive inside. Now kicks it over to Van Dyke. Will O'Doherty. Now to Linderman. Linderman driving baseline, backing down his man. Now has to kick it back to the top of the key. Cannon. Now to O'Doherty. Now to Scholl. Scholl backing his way down, being triple teamed. Doherty's wide open, 3-point on the way. Got it. Norris with a lapse of communication leaves a shooter with nobody around him. Skutt trying to get loud. Small gives it over to Greenfield. Greenfield trying to drive inside. There's going to be a foul off the ball that'll go on Skutt. So it'll stay with Norris. No team's really in foul trouble.
Looks like that's going to be on number 10, O'Doherty for Skutt.
And there's going to be a quick timeout on the floor. It's a media timeout. Like I said earlier, they have one after the dead ball after the first 4 minutes of the first and third quarter. So we're going to keep it right here during the break. Right now, Skutt leads by 6 over the number 2 seeded Norris Titans. And just looking at the stats, I mean, they're very equal, but Skutt shooting a lot better from the field, 43% and then 50% from three-point line. You compare that to Norris, and they're only shooting about 37%, 30% from three-point land. You look at some of the other categories, the rebounds very equal. Turnovers also pretty much equal. Norris are actually a little bit better in that category. So really reflects a very close ball game. The only reason why Skutt is up, just been a little bit more efficient from the field. So again, media timeout on the floor. Both teams in their respective huddles. Pretty good crowd here for the Class B state title. Expecting something very similar tonight for the Class A game. So here we go, both teams retaking the court. Skutt wearing their all-black uniforms as the away team, leading by 6, up against Norris in their all-white uniforms. Norris is going to inbound on their side of the court. Chris Gardner will do the job. Norris fans trying to pump up their team. Gardner inbounds to Folkerts, who will bring it across. Folkerts, tough pass over to Bosinger, gets to him. Now he'll drive baseline. Tough mid-range jump shot, but there's going to be a foul before the shot took place.
Looks like that foul is going to go on Skutt, number 10, Van Dyke.
So inbound to Chris Gardner. Now throws it up to the top of the key. Ball is free, taken away by Skutt. Cannon will go the other end. He's just going to slow things down. Gives over now to Skull. Mismatch on Gardner. Has to give it right back to Cannon. Cannon going to the free throw line. Kicks over left wing. Doherty. Pass up a good look from 3. Working his way all around once again. Now working inside. And just throws it right back over to the left wing. Now Doherty. Phoenix Skull wide open inside the paint. He takes advantage for 2. Brock Skull, just a phenomenal game. He's up to 13 points, 6 boards. And there is another foul off the ball that'll go on Skutt as Norris was going down the timeline. Now go on Doherty. And that's his 3rd, so I expect them to check him out of this ball game. And yep, they're going to do just that.
Norris needing to find something to work here. Skutt up by 8. Don't want them to extend that lead anymore.
So Folkerts will inbound under his own basket for the Titans. Scanning, surveying, has to get it out. Now it goes over to Chris Gardner at the top of the key. Working on the big man, right-handed layup, rolls all the way, no good.
Wow.
But he fights for his own board and he's through to the ground.
What an effort there.
Norris fans don't like it. I don't believe they called a foul. And yeah, Skutt's going to take over. But Chris Gardner with an amazing effort. I don't know what they called there particularly. They might have actually called a foul on Norris. So anyways, Skutt will take over now. They're going to go down the floor. A little bit of a trap look from Norris. But Dylan Van Dyke brings it across the timeline. Over to Ken on the Husker logo. Back to Van Dyke on the right wing. Screen is set for him now. He'll drive inside. Mid-range J on the way. Does not fall. Both teams fighting for the board. Norris gets under it. Bosinger going the other way now for the Titans. Picks up his dribble. Waiting. Now over to the right corner. That's Greenfield. Back to Bosinger. 3-point on the way. Got it. Excuse me. That was Josh Bornslingo who connects. Norris not going away anytime soon. Kyle Cannon on the other end now for Skutt. Trying to drive inside. Tough left-handed layup and 1. Cannon responds with a nice play of his own.
And that was a really good back down by Cannon. He was going up against number 0, Josh Borschlinger.
So now Skutt will go to the free throw line for 1, leading by 7. The free throw for Cannon is up and no good. It's rebounded by Bosinger of the Titans. He'll bring it across the other end. Greenfield misses a man wide open in the paint. Greenfield working his way all around. Now is a man wide open at the top of the key. 3-pointer, no good. Board by Skull of Skutt. Norris shooting only 33% from the 3-point line. Skutt now on the other end. Layup on the way. Got it to go to the big man. Skutt starting to take this one away. Norris needs a bucket real quick here. Layup got it to go. Nice play. And there's going to be a stoppage to talk this one over. So 42-35. Full timeout by Norris, coming off of a bucket. Skutt really starting to flex their muscles, really get into this game. Well, Norris just right back in it, not letting Skutt go way too far into unforbidden territory of double digits. So again, full timeout on the floor by Norris. That was their first they've used. Both teams have 4 remaining. Now both squads getting ready to retake the basketball court here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Skutt will have the ball when we come back. And now Skutt will get ready for the inbound. So Linderman, it looks like Van Dyke will do the job for the Skyhawks. Norris showing a little bit of pressure, full court press, like we've seen a little bit in the second half by them. They get it into Linderman, back to Dylan Van Dyke. They let him walk across the midline. Press defense here from Folkerts. Cannon now has on the left wing, gives it back over to Dylan Van Dyke on the right wing. Screen is set for him, and there's going to be a foul off the ball. It'll be a legal screen on Zebel of Skutt. His feet were still moving when he set one for Van Dyke. So Norris will inbound down by 7. Minute left to go here in this third quarter. Full courts across the timeline. Over to Greenfield. Now gives it over to Bosinger. Bosinger trying to work his way inside. There's going to be a foul called on Skutt. And that is going to send Norris to the free throw line now that they're in the bonus. Or excuse me. Yep, absolutely it will.
Yep, and that is not good news for Skutt because this is going to allow Norris to get back in the game. Also, like to note, Zebel has 3 fouls now.
So 2 free throws coming for Barrett Bosinger. He's averaging 83% this year. He knocks down the first one. Second one now for Bosinger. Got to hit these if they're trying to make a comeback, and yes, he does. So Skutt to inbound. Once again, kind of a full court press look by Norris. You've got to think perhaps Skutt will take one last shot here, and then Norris will have it as the buzzer expires. Cannon trying to drive inside, kicks it over to Skull, who goes to the lane, almost dunks it home, but an and one on the layup. That somehow rolled in. And Brock Skull, time and time again, has been the one to deliver a massive bucket for this Skyhawk squad.
And it looks like Garner was trying to stop that, but Skull just went straight over him.
So both teams now in the bonus with 37 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Skutt and Brock Skull at the line for 1 free throw. It is up, and it is money. Norris now to inbound. Full courts are bringing across the timeline. There's about a 1 second difference between shot clock and game clock. Full courts has on the Husker logo. He sets, calls for a screen, then calls him off. Perfectly fine with just holding this basketball. Now Greenfield has it. Has not started dribbling, and there's going to be a foul off the ball. That's going to go on Skutt, and that's going to send Norris to the free throw line. So another small mistake there by the Skyhawks will send Bosinger back to the free throw line. And a guy who, again, averages more than 80%, not the guy you want to see there. So first one for Bosinger with 18 seconds remaining. First one rattles home.
And looks like we have Barons back in for Norris.
Second one for Bosinger. Trying to cut down the Skutt lead. It's on its way, and it is all net. Shot clock is now officially off. Skutt can hold to get one last look. Cannon will bring it across the timeline, guarded closely by the freshman Greenfield. He has it on the Husker logo, setting up the offense, calls for a screen, working off of him. Now puts up a three-pointer from the top of the key, no good. Rebounded by Skutt, second chance, it's up. Third chance, Skull at the buzzer, and he got it. And that will be the end of the third quarter. Brock Skutt once again up to 18 points and 8 rebounds. And he has been phenomenal today. So what was a back and forth ball game to say the least, Skutt has finally started to really take firm control here of this ball game. At first, it was really their three-point ability that gave them the lead, but then when Brock Skutt got involved, oh man, it was hard to stop.
Yeah, he has been on fire, and I don't think Norris has really had an answer to him. I mean, Skutt has such big size, as you said, 2 people standing at 6'8", and those are just hard bodies to stop from getting points.
Norris just hasn't had the ability to really get any good looks from 3, let alone inside the interior, especially with those 2 big 6'8" centers for Omaha Skutt. So both teams starting to get ready for the fourth quarter in their respective huddles, talking this one over with their team. Norris will now retake the floor, trying to mount a comeback. Skutt, on the other hand, if this lead holds, this will be their second straight Class B state championship. So here we go. Norris to inbound, down by 8 points. Starters on the floor for both squads. Barons gets it into Alex Small. Small bringing it across the timeline. Now gives it over to Barrett Bosinger, trying to drive inside. Good defense here from Skutt. Now gives it over to the freshman Greenfield. Crossover, backing his way down. 3-point on the way now from the corner. No good. And it'll be rebounded by Scholl of Omaha Skutt. So he'll bring it across the other way now. Van Dyke has it on the left wing. Over now to Cannon at the top of the key. Norris is playing very physical defense. Now Cannon, floater, no good. Rebound, Scholl, second chance, rattles home. Man, this kid is good. He has 10 rebounds today, already in double-double territory. Three-pointer now for Norris, got it. Bosinger contested from the right wing, nails it.
And that's the answer that Norris needs.
Once again, a 7-point game. Omaha Skutt, they give it to Scholl. He drives inside, now kicks over to the right corner. Now top of the key, pump fake. Dylan Van Dyke, mid-range along the free throw line and got to go. Norris has given Skutt shooters too much open space, and they're taking advantage every day of the week. Chris Gardner on the right wing. Now over to Barons at the top of the key, back to Chris Gardner. He has not really had any impact on this game in the second half. Now Greenfield in the left corner, backing down his man. Tough layup, got it to go. Nice job there by the freshman. Norris not done yet. Plenty of time to mount a comeback. Doherty over to Scholl on the far wing. Now to Cannon. Cannon trying to work his way inside the paint. Now has to kick it out to somebody. Over now to Dylan Van Dyke on the left wing. Van Dyke directing traffic. Scholl has it. Over now to Doherty once again. 10 seconds of the shot clock. He sets a screen for him. Doherty drives inside. Now Van Dyke wide open 3. Bang! Dylan Van Dyke extends Skutt's lead to double digits.
Nothing but net.
Norris needs a response, and they need one quick. Greenfield getting inside the paint. Being double team. Kicks it over to Gardner. Gardner. He will maneuver his way to the rack. Tough layup. He's fouled on the way up.
That looks like it's going to be at number 44, Scholl.
So that's going to send Chris Gardner to the free throw line for 2. This is a guy who averages around 65% this year. He knocks down the first one.
Checking into the Titans lineup, number 0, Josh Borslegel.
Bornslingo checking in right now for Norris. See if they can provide some shooting for this Titan offense. Second one now also in for Chris Gardner. More of a half-court press look by Norris. Almost taken away by Greenfield, and yep, he comes down with a steal. Nice job by Norris. They'll go the other way now. Over to Chris Gardner inside the paint. Backing down, Skull now has to kick it back to Greenfield on the right wing. Everybody is back where they need to be. Greenfield, work his way. Fade away, no good. Gets his own board, second chance. Oh my goodness, and one by the freshman. Can you believe it?
And you talk about a young leader.
Evan Greenfield got his own rebound off platform, goes up, puts it up again, and amidst the contact will go to the free throw line for one. That is one of the most effort plays you'll see.
Yeah, and he looked like he was double or triple teamed there. I mean, he had a guy in his face.
So the freshman will go to the line for one free throw, trying to complete the and one. 5 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. The shot is up, and it is all net. Skutt inbounds. Cannon will bring across the timeline. Press defense here from Greenfield. Trying to force another steal. Cannon now driving inside, has a lane, kicks it now over to Doherty. Three-pointer on the way, no good. And Skull comes down with the board. Second chance. They're going to say there's a foul on the floor on Norris. Time and time again, it feels like Skull is coming down with crucial offensive boards to give Skutt multiple opportunities. So Dylan Van Dyke will inbound under his own basket. Throws it over to Cannon. Cannon now working his way inside to Linderman. Now Van Dyke on the right wing. Van Dyke over to the free throw line. Kicks it over left corner. Three-pointer now on the way. No good again. This time Norris comes down with the rebound. Small will slow things down. The Norris crowd starting to get into it. He has it on the right wing. Now trying to work his way inside on Cannon. Now goes back to the three-point line. Feeds it over to Bosinger. He's driving inside. Finds a lane. Tough layup. Almost an and one, but he will go to the line for two. And I can't believe that rattled out. That looked like it was in.
Yeah, it was very close.
So Bosinger once again, he is 4 for 4 from the charity stripe today and shooting 8% on the season. Will go back for two more. Norris on a 5-0 run, trying to extend that here. The first free throw for Bosinger rattles home. Second one now for the guard. Also in. Norris cuts it down to a 3-point lead. Crowd really getting into it. They're all on their feet on the Norris section. And there's going to be a timeout by Skutt to discuss this one, which gets a standing applause from the Titan faithful.
This is the momentum that Norris needed. Down by 3. 4:14 left on the clock.
So both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. Skutt with 3 fouls. Norris, however, only with 1. It is a full timeout. Head coach for Skutt, Kyle Jurgens, discussing with his boys how to stop this 7-0 Norris run. When it looked like the Titans had no life, they came back and threw another punch. So both teams getting ready to retake the floor.
Norris crowd and student section doing a little chant. Get the energy going more.
So here we go, 3-point ball game. Norris on a 7-0 run. Skutt to inbound, coming off of their own timeout. They are on their side of the court. Dylan Van Dyke will do the job for the Skyhawks. Throws it all the way to the backcourt over to Will Doherty. He brings it across the timeline, over now to Linderman on the right wing. Linderman guarded closely by Bornslingo, has to give it to Scholl. Taken away by Greenfield. It's a one-on-one. He's wide open. Easy layup for the freshman. What a fourth quarter performance by Evan Greenfield. Now Skutt trying to go quick, only up by one. Dylan Van Dyke trying to drive inside. Ball is free again. It's on the floor. And they're going to say there's a foul on Norris. And they can't believe it. And we can't either.
And the whole crowd is booing at that foul. Definitely not a fan.
I hope you can hear that. Yeah, just turn up the volume a little bit so you guys can hear those booing. But, man, that was loud.
And luckily, Norris was not in bonus.
So now Skutt to inbound under their own basket. They give it to the big man Skull. He's working his way inside, and he gets the bucket to fall. And Norris wanted the double dribble. They're still mad. Up back to a three-point game. Small trying to work his way inside. Bad pass taken away now by the Skyhawks. They'll walk across the timeline. Everybody gets back. Cannon has it, throws it over to Doherty in the left wing. Now Linderman back to Cannon, working his way to the basket. Back to Linderman. Now Doherty. Now Van Dyke, wide open three. He takes it on the way. Bang! Dylan Van Dyke with some massive triples here in this fourth quarter.
And just like that, Skutt already back up 6.
Norris needs a response. Alex Small gives it to Evan Greenfield. Now to Bosinger. Bosinger at the top of the key. Back to Greenfield. Now to Chris Garner. He's working his way inside. Nice pass over to Alex Small inside the paint. Doesn't take it. Now has to kick it out. That's a terrible pass by Alex Small, and it'll be over the back. I mean, I don't understand why Alex Small passed up that layup. He was intimidated by Barack Skull, who was crashing the glass and had to throw a bad pass, and Skutt will now take over.
Yeah, these small mistakes are going to cost them big time as the clock is running out.
So Dylan Van Dyke throws it in. Linderman has it now on the far wing, setting up the offense. Norris needs to stop Skutt, trying to extend their lead. Cannon has a screen set for him, now works off of it, driving inside, tough layup, and he's fouled, looks like before the shot. Norris fans still booing the refs. That's going to go on Evan Greenfield, third personal foul. There's going to be an inbound coming for Omaha Skutt. Dylan Van Dyke surveying under his own basket, trying to get it into Skoll. Now he throws over to the corner, three-pointer on the way, air ball. Skoll gets the board, however. Has to throw it up to Van Dyke on the other corner. He'll drive baseline. Wide open layup, and he takes it. Norris needs something quick. Alex Small across the timeline over to Greenfield. Now to Bosinger on the right wing, jab stepping. Driving inside, spin move, tough fadeaway. Jay, no good, air ball, rebounded by Skutt. Skoll is wide open on the other end, and it's he misses it, and he's fouled on the way up, hits the deck hard.
Skoll did not get up happy at that one. Looked directly at, seems to be number 4.
Yeah, Bosinger. Yeah, it looks like Skoll was wide open. He was trying to have showtime, and he didn't see Bosinger coming down the other end who fouls him. A little bit of a hard foul. So Scholl will go to the line for 2 free throws. Trying to extend this lead to double digits. Norris cut down the lead to 1 point, and Skutt has come right back there on a 7-0 run. First free throw for Skoll up and no good.
Folkert's back in for Norris.
Second one now for Skoll. On the way, and that one misses as well. Greenfield comes down with the board for Norris. They got to get a bucket on this possession. He brings across the timeline on the left wing. Now over to Folkerts at the top of the key. Back to Greenfield. Greenfield has it. Works his way on the perimeter. Gardner, left corner, driving in. Puts up a tough layup off the glass. No good, but there he's fouled. He is fouled. So Chris Gardner will go to the free throw line for 2. Skutt fans this time don't like that call. Can't ever please anybody, can you?
No,
if you're a referee.
Cannot.
So first one for Chris Gardner Jr. at the free throw line. It is up, and he misses it. It's a crucial miss. Second one now for Garner is on the way, and he misses both of them.
Just rattled out.
Rebound by Dylan Van Dyke. He'll bring across the other end, gives over to Linderman. Linderman in the paint, kicks it all the way back over to Doherty, and you can expect to see them just try to milk this clock. Greenfield playing press defense, gives it now over to Cannon on the far right wing. Right at that midline now, has an open lane, takes it, and one. And one. And that might just put a seal on it with Cannon connecting for 2. A lot of credit to Skutt. When Norris punched them, Skutt punched right back, and they're on a run of their own, 9-0. Double-digit lead. Trying to now extend their lead to 11.
Small back in for Norris.
Just a reminder, we will also have the Class C2 final at 4:15, a little bit of a break. And then, of course, the big one, Class A tonight at 6:15, Bellevue West taking on Millard Norris. So you're going to want to be here for us for that one. Free throw for Skutt up and in. Alex Small to inbound. Gets it right back over to himself. Needs a bucket. Over to Greenfield. He'll drive inside the paint. Kicks it out to Gardner. Tough floater on the way. Got it to go. And that's going to force a quick timeout by Norris to discuss this one. Full timeout.
Norris down by 9, minute 8 left. Not impossible. They just have to be quick and efficient with their offensive opportunities.
So Norris with 2 timeouts, Skutt with 3. Yeah, and you got to think if Skutt can hit one more big shot, might just be over. But I know the plan for Norris, try to force a steal, try to trap him and get something to go the other way. Impressive performance from both teams, though. Nobody's hanging their head low. Just to make it here for the Class B state title game, it's impressive by both Norris and Omaha Skutt. So both teams retaking the floor. Skutt to inbound, up by 9. They give it over to Skoll, or excuse me, that's Cannon. Cannon will walk across the timeline. No, Norris is going to try to trap him. Gets it over to the right corner. Now to Doherty on the right wing, and they're just going to foul him. So that was going to send Will Doherty to the line for 2 free throws now that Skutt is in the bonus. So first free throw here for O'Doherty. Up and in. Ice in his veins as a massive free throw, and that one puts this one figuratively on ice. Second one now for Doherty. Also on the way, and that one rattles home. Norris needs to get something quick. Greenfield over to Chris Garner. 55 seconds left in this ball game. Greenfield brings it across the timeline. Working his way now over to Bosinger. Long three-pointer, no good. Chris Gardner comes down with the board. Second chance now for Norris. Corner 3 on the way. Got it. Chris Gardner, where has that been today? And Norris stays alive.
Yeah, they definitely needed more of that today.
So another timeout. This is going to be Norris. They have 1 remaining. Quick 30-second timeout just to talk this one over and see if there's any way they can come back. Just an exciting day of basketball all around. We've seen some great games already, whether that was the first one. We saw C1 go to overtime. This one, again, almost going down the buzzer as well. And we have 2 remaining that we're going to be covering here on Millard South Media that we hope are also really good games. So Norris will retake the floor. Down by 8. Skutt taking their time now. They will as well. The Skyhawks will inbound coming off of the Chris Gardner three-pointer. Dylan Van Dyke will do the job for the Skyhawks. You have to go the full length of the court, looking for anybody. Now gets into the big man's skull. Now over to Cannon. They're trying to trap him. No foul is called. Now they finally do call the foul. So with 35 seconds remaining, Skutt will trot right back to the free throw line. Kyle Cannon with an opportunity to put the finishing touches on yet another Skutt State Championship. First free throw for him, it is up in his all net. Second one on the way for Cannon. He makes that one as well. 10-point lead for Skutt Catholic. Norris at this point just throw something up, see if it goes in. Greenfield across the timeline, setting up the offense. Going quick, now driving inside. Has to kick it out to somebody, throws it over to Folkert, who makes the three-pointer on the left wing. And yet another timeout by Norris. You know, give them credit. They're not going down without a fight. So with 24 seconds remaining, Norris still just keeping this one alive. And they will have yet another timeout to talk this one over with their head coach, Jimmy Motz. And I will say this about Norris. It looks improbable that they're going to come back in this ball game, but there's a couple really good players on this team who are returning for them going forward. And we talk about a couple of their starters. Basically everybody, sophomores or juniors. We talk about Barrett Bosinger, junior. Alex Small, sophomore. Chris Garner, sophomore. Evan Greenfield, he's a freshman. And then your other starter, Jarrett Barons, is a junior. When you look through this roster for Norris, there's only one senior, and he doesn't play. So despite the fact that, they're not looking great for the Norris Titans, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in this exact same position next year. They're going to have the exact same starting lineup.
Maybe the next 2 years. I mean, with how strong their sophomores and freshmen will be.
Yep. It's looking real good. So Van Dyke to inbound. Gets it into Kyle Cannon. He's fouled right away. Well, Kyle Cannon will trot right back to the free throw line. And I also want to give a special shout out to Evan Greenfield for Norris. This kid's only a freshman. He was the best player on the basketball court for the Titans today, and it wasn't even close. He was the one who basically mounted the comeback for Norris to get right back in this game, get the deficit to only one. That's only a freshman. He's going to be back for the next 3 years. Can you imagine how good he's going to be as a senior? So a lot of credit to that young man right there. I know a lot of Norris fans are excited to see his career progress. First free throw up and good for Cannon. Second one good as well. They inbound it to Greenfield. 20 seconds remaining. He brings it across the timeline. Long three-pointer now by Small. Up and no good. Fighting for the board. Greenfield gets under it. Second chance now. Bosinger, crazy three, no good. Another board by Chris Garner. A lot of effort here from Norris. Third three-pointer goes back to the line. No good. And Greenfield puts up a tip, and it goes in. Clock is running. They don't even have to inbound this basketball. And then the clock expires, and Skutt keeps stacking trophies. The Skyhawks climb the ladder to get their second straight Class B state championship. And welcome up to the booth. My name is Wilson Niven alongside my partner, Jonathan Spieler, Connor Rhodes producing behind the scenes. What a game. I mean, what a game. And Skutt, as the 4 seed, pulls an upset last night against the undefeated Crete Cardinals and then beats Norris in yet another upset. And they're champions once again. I mean, nothing new, right? They have been here before, and they proved it today. Yeah,
and I think what you said, that they've been here before, was a really big factor. I mean, Norris was strong all game. We'll give him that. I mean, you saw multiple they had 15, 15, 14. I mean, multiple of their players had a strong performance, but I think it came down to experience and nerves in that fourth quarter, and Omaha Skutt just had that experience and knew how to finish out a game.
About as good as it gets, and we're not done yet. Again, a lot of credit to Brock Skoll. That's our player of the game here at Millard South Media, big 6'8" center. And he was the reason why Skutt won this basketball game. Again, a lot of credit to Norris, like we talked about. Very young squad. They're going to be back for years to come, Jonathan. So this is us signing out here on Millard South Media. We have a little bit of a break This was the first session of games, and then we're getting ready for the second session of games. Class C2, we'll have that covered for you, and then the big one, Class A at 6:15. So, Jonathan, it's been great calling with you for this one. And again, we will be back. Jonathan Spieler will be on the call with Mason Steinhoff next game for C2. So that's us signing off. We'll see you in a little bit, folks.